So, guys, we have Ram. It's a good discussion. Ram, are you there?
Yes, I'm here,
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
but
So,
my video is disabled. Can you hear me?
uh, yes, 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 we can hear you. So,
That was a fantastic
welcome
discussion.
to, yes, so let me introduce you. So, we are ready for our next conversation. So, to our listeners and viewers, Ram is a good friend and always, I think he's a very good subject matter for this conference, and he's just coming up with this book on trust. Or maybe Ram will. I don't want to butcher it. Maybe Ram can shed some light on it. Ram, do you want to take away?
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Uh, like, what do you see? I just want to make sure.
So the trust before intelligence slide.
Okay, all right, that's great. All right, so it's the trust before intelligence, Michelle. Thank you so much, Tisha. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak. And what a panel! It was like really interesting panel like we just had. So I am Ram Katamaraja, founder and CEO of Collaberry. We are a recipient of AI for Betterment of Humanity prize, in 2018 from MegaOne Foundation. I just want to let you kind of like put it out there to let you know that we've been in the AI space for a while, like almost a decade. And my deep interest is in what is the impact of AI on human workers and humans, and how the interaction is going to uh, impact our world in general. So, having said that, just this is like a book that I started writing last year. And this is kind of in response to, as we are talking to the clients, a lot of times uh, there is a idea about like, okay, how do you adapt AI in your organization? And also, how do you think about it? A lot of times, adapting AI is not just about technology. It's primarily about trust, right? Can you trust this? So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the trust, and the book title is and the book title is deliberately Trust Before Intelligence, because from my perspective, uh, the trust is something that we need to have to adapt this technology at a wider scale. And I thought like when I started writing, I could write this book like in a couple of weeks, but it took 6 months because I had to write it and proofread it like every single word and letter. So that kind of like shows that it's very, very important for human in the loop. And even the cover of the book, the cover image of the book is generated by AI. However, it is actually fixed by my son. So he basically, when we had as you can see in the cover image, you have the human and robot, but when AI generated this image in the first place, there was robot before and then human in the back. My son goes, well, that's not true. He's like in middle school. So they're thinking about it, and he influenced basically making the image reflect the title. So now let me just kind of get to the presentation. A quick trust test, right? So just think about it. Would you let your Tesla drive fully autonomously with your kids in the back seat? Right? And would you hand over your wallet to any AI and say, manage my finances? Would you trust a robot to operate on your heart? Right? These are some questions. These are not hypothetical questions. These are the things that are happening like right now. And I'm sure like you have either said yes or no to at least one of those. Right? So, or maybe all three of these you said no, or maybe all three of these you said yes. But this is the world where we are moving into, where humans and AI is working together. And especially in an organization AI agents are like AI agents are going to be co-workers, right? So now, how do you we're not we how do you like the question that keeps coming to my mind, and I want to kind of like try to address is, how do you hire an AI agent, right? When as a coworker? That's a big question that we kind of like need to answer. And this conference is about no worker left behind. Um, and in general, the organization that force agents into workspace without earning the trust first. Workers are the ones who pay the price, right? They are told to work along the systems. They can't verify. Uh, they don't know whether they can trust the outputs. They don't, and they are basically have to adapt tools that have no say in, right? It could result in a adoption chaos and even collapse, right? So just to look at some of the numbers from the industry, right? These are gathered in the last year or so. This space is moving so fast, and all the numbers, probably these numbers are outdated. But if you just look at it from uh, some of the recent surveys, uh, there is a paper by MIT Nanda in 2025 where they talked about state of AI and business, uh, where they talk about 95% of AI pilots fail to deliver measurable business value, right? And then there's a KPMG report in Q1 of 2026. They found that 40% of enterprises are now deploying AI agents. And then this is 4 more times than a year ago, right? But only 11% are consistently realizing value. And then there is like McKinsey workplace report, which says that there is just 1% of companies reached AI maturity, right? Meanwhile, 92% of companies plan to increase AI spending, right? So there is a ambition. Ambition is not a problem. Funding is not a problem, but why this collapse? Why this pilots are failing? Why only very limited value realization? So one glaring example to look at it is there is this company called Klarna, which went into IPO, I think 24, 25 timeframe. When the AI came into the world, they basically replaced 700 customer support agents with AI, and they celebrate the cost savings, right? But within a year, their CEO publicly admitted that they had gone too far and started rehiring, right? So they had to they adapted AI, and AI did not deliver like what they needed to deliver, and they had to bring the humans back, right? So it's on one hand we are trying to adapt AI, on the other hand, and basically forcing humans to use it, or trying to replace humans with AI, and this is not producing the results that we are really looking for. Just by taking a step back, when I say AI, there are two kinds of AI, right? So one is generative AI and other is agentic AI, right? The generative AI, this is what we are mostly used to. This is a productivity tool like ChatGPT, Claude, chatbots, and there are humans give the prompts, AI responds, human reviews every output, human decides what to do with it, and human is always in the loop, right? However, even in this scenario, in the Deloitte's Trust ID Workforce Report Survey in Q3 2025, there is a report of 31% decline in the trust of using generative AI. And now then there is agentic AI, right? Agentic AI is pretty much autonomous. That is what the expectation is, right? So it doesn't wait for you to ask, right? It looks for the events, it queries the databases, it makes decisions, it can trigger workflows, and even take actions, right? All autonomously. It can execute without asking. Human is like pretty much removed by default. In this, right, and in the same survey conducted by Deloitte, there is a 64% trust collapse when agentic AI, with agentic AI, right? Why? Because autonomy changes everything. When you use ChatGPT, it hallucinates, you catch it, right? You are right there. But when an autonomous agent makes decisions, like, I don't know, 2 a.m. about a patient's medication, a worker's schedule, or a customer's credit limit, nobody catches it until the damage is done, right? Errors could compound. This distinction matters for every conversation we have today. Gen AI was just a warm-up. Agentic AI is the real game, and the rules are completely different. Because human is no longer automatically in the loop. We have to deliberately design them back in, right? That's my thesis. Uh, and just the agents are already under attack as we speak. One glaring, like really big incident is Anthropic Mythos event that happened like recently. So it's the Claude, which a company that is built with safety first and privacy first thing, and they released a model. It broke out of its secure sandbox during an internal safety testing. It didn't just escape the containment, it autonomously gained internet access, enabled a researcher, emailed the researcher, and posted details on its own exploit on the public websites, right? It basically wrote everything about how it did it on the internet without anybody giving any instructions. This pattern is everywhere, right? McKinsey's platform got hacked in 2 hours. 46 million chat messages got exposed. Microsoft Copilot, basically, without even opening an email, can expose your data. So similarly, one interesting incident is came out of Hong Kong. There's a deepfake video call that resulted in a 25 million loss, the money transfer that happened with deepfakes, right? So it's the agents adapting agentic AI is like super risky. So I also want to kind of like just bring this through a healthcare example. So in healthcare space, this is like one of the interesting industries. For healthcare is theoretically one of the slowest industry that adopts technology. Probably you know Epic. It's one of the largest healthcare electronic health records company, and it took about 25 years since the company was created and the concept was created for it to get adapted widely. However, basically McKinsey reports there are 85% of healthcare leaders already exploring and adopting AI, right? So and it's surprising. If you look at the reports, healthcare industry is one of the fastest adapting industry. And now, beyond this, what's happening is the same organizations are now moving from generative AI to agentic AI. Agents that can automatically adjust, I don't know, medications, flag risks, trigger treatment protocols, right? And this is a situation that we need to like take a step back and see how do we like really adapt AI. This should concern every one of us, right? Because agents can act. You have seen hallucinations that happens when you use chatbots, and agents are relying on a similar technology. So it's a cause of concern. So and why basically like I am trying to pinpoint to just one problem. There are many problems why agent and AI projects are failing, but I want to point one problem which is more technology driven. There are human elements, there are process elements, all kinds of things, but if we want to like really dig deeper and see like what's happening at the technology level, what's happening now is all organizations, typical organizations have the systems that are built for human error. They have batch ETL processes, they have static dashboards, they have role-based access, they have manual reviews that are happening. Whereas when you bring agents, they need like instant responses, right? They need to have semantic understanding. The permissions need to be dynamic. They need to have like complete transparency, right? Agentic needs are different. It's almost like we are bringing a Rolls-Royce engine and putting in a horse cart and expecting the horse cart to kind of like work. That's kind of like and obviously it's going to fail, right? So that's something to really keep in mind. Again, there are many other aspects of why the systems are failing, why there's a trust gap, and why the processes are failing. But this is one really, from the data-centric standpoint, this is one of the aspects to kind of like look into, right? So now we are we're moving into a world where we'll not only just hire chat productivity tools like chatbots, but we are also hiring AI agents as coworkers. Now, when you do that, can we have same standards similar to hiring humans, right? When we hire humans, we talked about hiring humans in the previous panel, right? So you have uh, you basically do interviews, you check for competency, you have background checks, you set role boundaries, you build trust through collaborations after they are hired, and then your responsibility expands over a period of time. It doesn't happen like immediately, right? Nobody would hire a stranger, hand them the keys, and say, do whatever you think is best, right? But that's exactly what most organizations seem to be doing with AI agents. Okay, let's just get AI agents and use them. However, what I tried to do is in my book, I tried to kind of like create this, okay, how do we hire these agents? What is the test for these agents? And I created this six uh, basically attributes that we need to look for. And those are, I call it impact. As a consultant, you need to have acronyms. It's like impact, INPACT. Basically, uh, here is the framework, which gives you the smell test of when you're bringing in a agent, how do you kind of really test to see if it's working? One, does it give sub-second, 2-second responses? This becomes really important. Nobody wants to work with an AI agent that takes forever to get back. People like lose interest in it. And then natural semantic understanding. Does it understand the language better? So for example, does it understand that heart attack is same as myocardial infarction, right? So this is like a really important piece because uh, in our interactions, we have like various semantics that we use to communicate, but does the AI agents who are you bringing as coworkers, do they understand the same thing? And then if there is one important thing to focus on, are they permitted to take this action, right? Dynamic governance. We need to have a dynamic governance with human in the loop escalation. So the human in the loop is a very, very important piece in making agents work. This is, again, we'll go a little deeper on this in the next slide. And then your agents adaptive? Are they learning as you go along as you go as they do work and they make mistakes? Are they learning and getting smarter? And then contextual. Do they understand the entire context of what they're acting on? Not just depending on one system, but they have access to multiple systems in the organization and in a and also in a uh, basically bounded fashion. They should have like proper boundaries, but still have the context. And then transparency. Are you able to audit every single decision that they are making, right? So right now you can't, right? If you go to Claude or ChatGPT or any other tool, you ask a question, it gives a response, but you cannot really audit the entire thing. And this becomes even more important if an AI agent is acting autonomously. So that transparency becomes like very, very important. So now, how does a human in the loop? So I said like dig a little deeper into this human in the loop concept. And how does human in the loop governance can play out, right? So this diagram has asynchronous and synchronous mechanisms. So in asynchronous mechanisms, the agent makes a decision, executes it, humans reviews it afterward, and this typically works for low risk, time sensitive decisions. A lot of times I have seen uh, grunt operational work being done in an asynchronous fashion, right? But there is like post hoc review that is done, which catches any issues and trains the AI agents. And then you have synchronous high risk decisions. The agent stops, it blocks its own execution until a qualified human reviews and approves. No exceptions, right? So this is for high risk situation. The key is this. The agents can handle a majority of grunt work, which as humans we want to delegate. Uh, and that can be great usage of agents as coworkers, but all the critical work must go through a human in the loop mechanism to execute. So that's how humans stay in the loop, right? So this is I'm just drilling down the rabbit hole a little bit because of the limited time that we have. But this is how we need for every process, every agent that we bring into the picture, we need to make sure there's a human in the loop, in addition to other INPSCT attributes when we are hiring them. So think about it like when you hire a human, you are looking at various attributes. When you're bringing an agent, does these agents pass this test? And can they consistently pass this test to be part of the organization? Uh, Human in the loop should not be a speed bump, right? It's not, but it's part of the process. It's a trust accelerator, right? Uh, Basically, if I take like a couple of concrete examples, like in a healthcare scenario, a doctor queries an agent about uh, anticoagulation protocol for a post-surgical patient on warfarin, right? It's a routine question that a doctor can ask, but agents can detect something. Warfarin, the patient is also an aspirin dose, right? So that creates a life-threatening issue, right? So agents can detect that and immediately alert the pharmacist or any other specialist that need to review that. Similarly, maybe an agent in a supply chain scenario, an agent may, order like a $2 million inventory based on a demand forecast. And that demand forecast may be based on a holiday forecast, and which doesn't apply in this particular month or quarter. That could be, and an agent should not be making decisions like that. Instead, there should be a human that should be in the loop, and they either they review it and take the appropriate action. So why it's very important, like when we bring in agents as co-workers, to really design how humans are monitoring them, and they're in the loop, and they're like working with each other. So if there is so basically, let's look at how an agent with human in the loop. Well, HITL is the acronym that we have been like using. So HITL stands for human in the loop, and also there is another acronym called HOTL, human on the loop. But okay, so when agent makes all the decisions autonomously without human in the loop, errors compound, right? So agents agents are continuously learning. If there's a mistake, you let it go. The mistake keeps compounding, right? So if there is, and also work basically when workers feels and if you have like agents fully autonomous, obviously workers feels replaced, and also they are replaced as we saw in the case of the Klarna example that we saw before. Similarly with the agent in the loop, with a human in the loop, right? They can handle routine requests like the grunt work, and human review the risky decisions. It could be 2 to 5%, but humans become agent supervisors, and resolution times can be improved through AI working with humans. And because agents are working directly, agents are daily, essentially asking humans to make the decisions on their behalf, the human interaction and human trust increases AI adoption, right? So in that way, HITL, human in the loop, doesn't slow down, right? It actually speeds up adoption, because whenever if there's a mistake and humans see it, agents can learn from it instead of compounding the mistakes when they do it autonomously. With human in the loop, agents can get better and makes the life of humans better as well. So here is like a quick check. I mean, for you to do, just think about it, right? If you are bringing in AI agents, can your systems respond agent queries in less than 2 seconds? You pick 1 to 5. Okay, does your data have semantic meaning, right? So, and basically not just rows and columns, right? This is like a very common thing across organizations. So similarly, like if there is when an agent make high risk decision, does human review it first, right? There is a thing. So, and similarly, there are other questions for you to ask yourself. So like this Monday, like when you go, right? So these are a couple of questions that you can ask. List your top 10 high risk decisions. For each one, ask, should an agent decide alone or must a human review it first? If you can't answer the question, you need governance and human in the loop before you bring the agents. And also ask your team the trust question. If AI agent made a decision about your work, would you trust it? If the answer is no or hesitation, you have a trust problem. Address that before deploying agents, right? Humans and agents, we are going to work together. That's happening, right? Now it's a matter of like, how do we really hire and employ agents so that humans and agents can work together and gain from it? So that's the question that we need to address. And here, like a shameless plug-in, this is my book. I just released the Kindle version like this week, still working on the physical book release. But also I have this trustbeforeintelligence.ai website where you can go. I have put like a whole bunch of tools and surveys that you can take in your organization for your organization. Like I have like 36 questions. But yeah, so to conclude, right? So we are going to work together with the AI. There is no going back. The question is, how do we put human before the bot? How do we build trust before bringing intelligence? Thank you.
Thank you, Ram. That was great. I think I'm going to check if we have any questions from the audience before you head out real quick. Actually, I might have a question for you too, but let me just check if there is anything on YouTube stream or here, if anybody is having any questions around. All right. I guess one question possibly that I was thinking of, more so, and I think, and I was hearing you talk about being able to integrate if the trust is the main, differentiator, right? So if we talk about that, if that's the main differentiator, let's say between 95% that fails and then maybe the 5% that succeed, right? What could be the earliest signals, measurable signals rather, that organizations can look at to building trust before any AI system is deployed, for that matter?
Yeah. So again, this is something that we are all like trying to figure out as we go along. My
Your take.
my take is really humans. So agents should earn to be able to work in an organization, not the other way around. Just the way humans earn their keep, humans earn their job, and humans earn their promotions, right? Similarly, we need to be, and that is because we, as part of our work, we build the trust, right? Similarly, agent, we should apply similar standards when we are hiring agents and bringing them in, right? So and this is a conversation that needs to happen in every organization. Can we trust this? Can we trust this AI agent that we are bringing in, right? And if not, how do we, for our organization, create that trust? And I try to tackle just one piece of the trust in this book, saying that, hey, your systems, like basically, the mythos went and just broke out things, right? So now you are trying to deploy smart AI agents on 10, 20 years or 30 years ago infrastructure, right? And you are expecting it, and how can you trust it?
Yeah.
So it's a question that every one of us need to ask, both from human perspective as well as technical perspective.
Got it. Got it. And I know I do see now, Chloe has a question in the chat. How do you see risk tiering influencing where HITL is applied? It seems like limiting it to high risk alone might miss cases where accuracy or trust matters more than speed.
Absolutely, right? So the high risk is just an example. Now, I'm glad that you are thinking about, okay, human in the loop, right? That's also was considered. So what I'm saying is, as we bring these autonomous agents, we need to first ask, how do we create trust in this action? So one is human in the loop, and other is complete transparency, right? The agent should be able to explain every single decision that it made. If you cannot explain it, if you cannot audit it, you can trust it, right? These are just two fundamental elements from the process standpoint. And then the other elements like instant responses, all those things are about human interactions. So it's up to your organization to decide, okay, is my and in the governance, right? So you have this concept of, oh, we have this 90% confidence, 70% confident, right? So it's up to your organization to say, okay, if there is whether I'm going to let AI agent act on its own with 50% confidence, or 90% confidence, or 99% confidence, right? If you say, well, I need 99% confidence in or 100% confidence in every process, then human is always in the loop. But if you keep lowering that confidence level, then agent can act autonomously. So these are the technical feasibilities that are there, but this has to be strategic. This has to be adapted strategically. Yes, it's easy to say, okay, let's give a chatbot, right? It's like giving the Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel. It's a productivity tool. Your human is always in the loop. But when you bring autonomous agents, you have to, for your organization, define what those boundaries are and what those trust levels are, right? So that's kind of like what I'm trying to bring to the table here.
Okay. I know we're past time, but Chloe seems to have added on to the question. The only other question she has there, how do you think about cases where an agent can explain its reasoning, but is still wrong or biased? Where should validation or oversight come in?
Yeah, so okay, so let me just see if I can go back on the slides. Sorry. So I created this thing called like 7-layer framework. So this is like an infrastructure thing, 7-layer architecture. So where there are 2 layers that are dedicated to what you call like governance and observability, right? All these other layers are like storage, real-time, and all this. Like if you that's more the technical side. There is like observability and governance. This lot of times, not all of, almost all the time, the organizations are just dumping tools without this observability or governance. So you need to like think about these layers first. How do you bring about like every agent or every tool that you are bringing in? Do we have governance and do we have observability? The good news is there are tools out there, there are technologies out there are methods out there to do that, but it's really has to be part of the conversation at every organization, at every level, in every team. And I would say more so in HR, in human resources arena.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Any other questions? Okay, Jessica, does having good guidelines in the code help to build the agent trust?
No, no. So how do I say? So one interesting thing, right? So the thing about these agents is, especially coding, right? We are thinking, oh, you give an instruction to agent and it will go write a good code. Yes, it writes good code. Now, the code is not static, right? You're constantly adding new things. Now you are like fifth version. The agent would go and like change what is there in the first version, right? Automatically without you knowing, because agents are always trying to take the path of least resistance. Okay. You would be surprised how important it is for a coders to actually review the code now, right? So previously, uh, I mean, how do I don't know even know how to explain it, but it's like you need to have like a lot more vigilance on the code, almost like I said, my book instead of 2 weeks, it took like 4 months because I had to go and like read every line and every word as I worked through it. And then eventually I realized that I have to write most of it. Writing code is almost like that, right? So you start writing, it gives this amazing, magical tool, right? And that's it, right? If you want to extend it, it will like basically it is like there's this movie where this guy keeps forgetting things all the time, and you have to like start over the day. So agents are like that. You give like a new requirement to it, it'll forget like everything that is before. So it is important to have systems and processes and review mechanisms in your entire code development, right? Because it would delete the code that it wrote and it will change the code that it wrote without telling you. So it's a very dangerous thing, that a mechanism that is out there. It's evolving slowly, but it's like a not out. It's really like not out there. So when you actually look at some of the surveys that are done, adapting AI in some cases increase the productivity by 35% or so. In some cases, it's actually reduced the productivity because people thought that, oh, it can do the magic, and then it doesn't. It does the magic and just keeps redoing the magic and removes the previous ones, like get rid of the previous ones. So you need to like really have proper processes in place.
Got it. Got it. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I guess that was all the questions that were there here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for taking the time. We appreciate you being here today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if I have to like again like say one thing to take away, right? When you hire agents or when you're bringing agents, think about it. Would you hire a human this way, right? And apply this similar rigor, bringing in the agents and putting them as part of your work.
Perfect. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yes, I think now maybe I will be okay saying there will be a little break until 2 o'clock. Folks want to take a stretch break or, network. Actually, the expo is happening. If anybody wants to network, talk to other folks, now is a good time. And our sessions begin again at 2 o'clock. Thank you, Ram.
Thank you, Soumya.
All right. Bye-bye.